In a world where every smile can hide 1,000 thoughts and each handshake holds more than a simple greeting, the true measure of a person often remains unseen. Today, we journey into the subtle dynamics of trust and deception, navigating the complexities of human relationships through a Stoic lens. The Stoics taught that while we cannot control the actions of others, our own understanding can shape the very fabric of our social bonds. Join me as we explore these unseen forces, uncovering the wisdom that helps us lead not just successful, but meaningful lives. If this journey resonates with you, we invite you to subscribe and become part of our community. To fully grasp the insights we're about to share, I encourage you to stay with us until the end. Let us begin. Number 1. The manipulative friend. At first, they seem to understand you better than anyone. They nod at the perfect moments, their empathetic smiles feeling tailor-made just for you. But over time, a troubling pattern reveals itself. You begin to see that their understanding is not born of genuine care, but is a strategic play, leveraging your vulnerabilities for personal gain. They are the chess masters of social interaction, each move calculated not to support you, but to advance their own position. In your moments of vulnerability, they are not just listening, they are collecting information. This data is not stored to help you. Instead, it is weaponized, used to guide you toward decisions that serve their interests, not yours. Their caring facade is just that, a disguise. Beneath it lies not an ally, but a strategist who sees relationships as tools to be used, rather than bonds to be cherished. Stoicism teaches us to seek clarity over comfort, truth over pleasant illusions. Marcus Aurelius advised us to be wary of both the impressions we form and the intentions of those around us. He would counsel us to observe not just what people say, but what they do. Their actions, how they speak of others, how they handle your secrets, how they respect your boundaries, are the true indicators of character. To deal with such a person, begin by setting firm, clear boundaries. Share selectively, knowing that not every thought requires external validation, especially from someone whose motives are suspect. Gradually distance yourself from their influence and invest instead in relationships that foster growth and positivity. True friends enhance your life. They inspire you to expand, not contract. They add to your existence through support and genuine care. They do not subtract from it through manipulation and deceit. Number 2, the constant critic. This individual seems to have made it their mission to find fault in everything. Every project you begin, every idea you propose, every part of your personality can feel as if it falls short of their standards. Their feedback, devoid of the warmth of constructive criticism, lands like relentless judgment, chipping away at your confidence with each remark. The constant critic often hides behind the excuse of just being honest, or helping you improve. But there is a fine line between helpful critique and discouraging nitpicking. Their relentless fault-finding can create a toxic atmosphere where, instead of growing, you find yourself second-guessing every word and action. This stifles creativity, making you doubt your own value. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." This powerful Stoic reminder teaches us not to internalize the harsh words of others. Stoicism invites us to consider the source of criticism and reflect on whether there is truth in it. If there is a lesson to be learned, use it. If not, let it pass over you. To handle a constant critic, you must maintain perspective. Understand that their criticism often says more about their own worldview, their insecurities, or their frustrations than it does about your worth. Build boundaries to protect your mental space. You can listen, assess, and then choose whether to accept or discard their words. Engage from a place of strength, acknowledging their feedback without allowing it to diminish your sense of self. In Stoic practice, we learn to focus on our own actions and reactions, the things within our control, rather than the opinions of others, which are not. By applying this principle, you can preserve your inner peace and continue to grow even in the face of constant criticism. Number 3. The superficially friendly. At a glance, they are the most personable individuals you could meet. With a wide smile, they ask about your day and make all the right gestures to suggest they care. But you soon discover their warmth has little depth, resembling a shallow puddle more than a welcoming ocean. These are the social butterflies, moving gracefully from one group to another, never settling long enough to form deep connections. In their world, interactions are a series of pleasant exchanges that skim the surface of politeness, but never dive into the essence of true friendship. They might attend every party and appear in all your social circles, but when hardship arrives, their presence is often as fleeting as their commitment. True friendship, after all, is not just about sharing laughter in the sunlight. It is about standing together in the storm, a challenge these individuals may find too daunting. Stoicism teaches us the importance of genuine relationships, prizing a small circle of close friends over a wide network of acquaintances. Seneca emphasized the quality of friendships over their quantity. He championed relationships where mutual respect and sincerity prevail, guiding us to seek friends who reflect our own values and provide a stable, reliable presence in our lives. To navigate the realm of the superficially friendly, it is crucial to recognize them early on. Enjoy their company in lighthearted moments if you wish, but invest your emotional energy wisely. Reserve your deepest trust and vulnerabilities for those who have proven their loyalty in times of both joy and adversity. Cultivating such discernment is not just wise, it is necessary for protecting your emotional well-being and ensuring your inner circle remains authentic. Number 4. The inattentive listener. You know the type. They nod along, perhaps offering a vague but you can sense they are not truly with you. They are physically present, yet mentally, they have drifted to some distant place. It can feel like talking to a wall that occasionally nods. These interactions are deeply frustrating because they lack the core of communication, a genuine exchange. Relationships, whether personal or professional, thrive on mutual understanding and active engagement. When someone consistently fails to pay attention, it sends a clear message. What you are saying does not matter to them. This behavior not only stifles the flow of ideas, but also erodes the emotional connection that true listening forges. Communication is a two-way street. When it becomes one-sided, the relationship suffers. The Stoic practice of mindfulness teaches us to fully engage with the present moment. For Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, listening attentively was not just a courtesy, but a duty. It was about respecting the person speaking by offering them your full attention, a reflection of the Stoic belief in the importance of every human interaction. If you often find yourself speaking to an inattentive listener, there are a few Stoic strategies you might employ. First, ensure your own communication is clear and engaging. Sometimes a direct question can pull a listener from their reverie. If that fails, a gentle observation might be in order. Let them know you've noticed their distraction and invite them back into the conversation. However, if the pattern persists, it may be worth considering what value this person adds to your life. If they do not offer the respect and attention you deserve, it might be time to redirect your energy toward relationships where mutual engagement is freely given. Number 5. The empathy lacking individual. This person can be particularly challenging, for they seem almost blind to the emotional landscapes of others. They move through life focused solely on their own needs and goals, often at the expense of those around them. Their conversations tend to center on their achievements, their problems, and their perspectives, with little room for anyone else's. In your interactions, you might find that your feelings are consistently dismissed or ignored. This is more than a simple lack of emotional intelligence. It is a fundamental disconnect from the shared humanity in others. Such individuals often leave a trail of bruised relationships in their wake, puzzled as to why their interactions are so often fraught with conflict. Stoicism offers a profound remedy to this mindset. It teaches us the importance of looking beyond ourselves, to understand that the human experience is interconnected. Stoics like Epictetus emphasized the role of empathy in human ethics. He taught that we should listen and respond to others with kindness, recognizing that we are all part of a larger community, each with our own struggles and triumphs. If you are dealing with someone who lacks empathy, Stoicism advises against meeting their indifference with anger. Instead, view it as an opportunity to practice patience and lead by example. Show them empathy, not because they necessarily deserve it, but because it is the virtuous path. However, it is also vital to set boundaries. Protecting your emotional well-being is crucial, and sometimes that means limiting your exposure to those who drain it. Engaging with an empathy-lacking individual requires a balance of compassion and self-preservation. While you can model empathetic behavior, you must also recognize when to step back and not allow their self-centeredness to disrupt your own peace. Number 6. The constant irritator. This person seems to have mastered the art of irritation. With a knack for poking and prodding, they know exactly how to get under your skin, whether through subtle digs, backhanded compliments, or minor provocations. They engage in a kind of emotional gamesmanship, with the goal of unsettling you, of knocking you off balance for their own amusement or advantage. The constant irritator thrives on the reaction they elicit. Every annoyed glance, every sigh of frustration, is a victory for them, a testament to their ability to manipulate the emotional currents around them. This can be incredibly draining, forcing you to constantly guard against their next move, always bracing for the small but persistent annoyances they create. This is where the teachings of Stoicism can become your stronghold. Stoicism reminds us that it is not external events that upset us, but our judgments about them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom is especially potent when dealing with a constant irritator. By adjusting your perception, by deciding that their actions will not dictate your emotional state, you reclaim your power. You take control back from the irritator and place it firmly within yourself. Practicing this stoic detachment involves recognizing the intent behind their provocations. Once you see that their behavior is designed to unbalance you, you can choose not to grant them that power. It is not about pretending the irritation doesn't exist, but about consciously choosing your response. You can acknowledge their attempt to unsettle you without granting them the victory of seeing you perturbed. Engaging with a constant irritator thus becomes less about confrontation and more about maintaining your inner peace, the ultimate demonstration of strength. Number 7. The eternal victim. This individual seems to live in a perpetual state of crisis. No matter the day or circumstance, something is always going terribly wrong. But what is most challenging about the eternal victim is not the frequency of their misfortunes, but their apparent unwillingness to do anything about them. They seem to thrive on the sympathy and attention their woes attract, using their endless stream of problems as a tool to draw others in and keep them close. Their tales of woe can be emotionally draining. You may find yourself constantly pulled into their dramas, spending your own energy trying to solve problems that mysteriously never get resolved. Their dependency might feel validating at first, but it often leads to a one-sided relationship where your own needs are sidelined and your efforts are taken for granted. Stoicism offers a powerful framework for this dynamic. Epictetus taught that we should concern ourselves only with what is within our control. When interacting with an eternal victim, it is crucial to recognize the limits of your influence. You can offer support, but you cannot fix their life. Only they can do that. The Stoics would advise us to practice empathy with detachment. Feel for their pain, but release yourself from the notion that you are responsible for their happiness. It is also wise to set boundaries. If their chaos begins to encroach on your peace, it is time to reassess how much of yourself you can afford to give. Encouraging them to take action, rather than simply consoling them, not only protects your well-being, but also pushes them toward the self-reliance that Stoicism values. While compassion is a virtue, it must not come at the cost of your own stability. Maintaining your inner peace in the face of another's perpetual chaos is a profound practice in Stoic philosophy. Number 8. The two-faced individual. This person has mastered the art of duplicity. They are charming to your face, only to slander you the moment your back is turned. Their skill at wearing different masks for different audiences is disconcerting. One moment they make you feel like a confidant. The next, you might overhear them undermining you to others. It is a bewildering and hurtful experience to realize that someone you trusted could so easily betray you. The two-faced individual not only strains personal relationships, but also creates a toxic environment. Their behavior fosters distrust and conflict, whether in a workplace, a circle of friends, or a family. Their actions are often driven by a desire for personal gain, be it power, influence, or simply the amusement of causing disruption. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own virtue and integrity, and not be swayed by the deceit of others. Seneca advised choosing our company wisely, asserting that being alone is better than being in bad company. Stoicism also prompts us to reflect on our response to betrayal. While it is natural to feel hurt, a Stoic would counsel us to rise above these initial emotions. They would urge us to respond with reason and dignity, maintaining our own ethical standards rather than stooping to their level. When dealing with a two-faced individual, the most effective strategy is to distance yourself once their true nature is revealed. Reducing your emotional investment protects you from further harm. More importantly, it frees you to cultivate relationships with people who value authenticity and transparency, individuals who support you both in your presence and your absence. Choosing to surround yourself with genuine people aligns with the Stoic principle of living a virtuous life, fostering an environment where you can thrive, untouched by the shadows of duplicity. Number 9. The toxic individual. This person is often a complex blend of many negative traits. They might exhibit manipulation, constant negativity, jealousy, or dishonesty. Being around them can feel like being caught in a storm, where your positive outlook and inner peace are constantly under threat. Their presence can lead to feelings of doubt and insecurity, as they seem to have a knack for souring joyful experiences and turning your strengths into perceived weaknesses. Dealing with a toxic individual is challenging because their influence can seep into every aspect of your life, clouding your judgment. They often create an environment where you are always on the defensive, constantly shielding yourself from their next negative outburst or manipulative tactic. This can be exhausting and deeply unsettling. Epictetus offers wisdom that is especially relevant here. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This guidance encourages us to focus on our own response rather than trying to change the toxic individual. It reminds us that our true power lies in our reactions, our decisions, and our ability to maintain self-control. Implementing this Stoic approach involves setting firm boundaries. Clearly define what behavior is unacceptable and be consistent in enforcing those limits. If the toxic behavior continues despite your efforts, it may be necessary to distance yourself entirely. While this can be a difficult choice, it is sometimes the healthiest one you can make. Surround yourself with people who uplift you and encourage your growth. Cultivate relationships that bring positivity, mutual respect, and genuine support. By doing so, you reinforce your resilience and foster an environment where you can flourish. In dealing with a toxic individual, the goal is not just to survive their impact, but to ensure your life remains driven by your own values and your pursuit of genuine happiness. And there you have it, a guide through the challenging terrain of human interaction. Remember, your peace of mind is precious, and who you choose to trust plays a crucial role in preserving it. Thank you for joining me on this journey of awareness and growth. We invite you to explore our next video, appearing on your screen now, to continue enriching your life with Stoic wisdom. Thank you for being a cherished part of our community. Until our paths cross again, may wisdom be your guide and serenity your constant companion.